Thank you for joining me today on Coffee With. I'm at Lillian's, which is downtown on Washington Street, in what we all know as Borrello's, and there's a Borrello running it now. Peter Borrello, welcome.
Well, thank you.
This is a lovely place. It looks a lot like it did when Charlie had it.
Well, we've restored the floors. As you can see, we tore up the carpet. We have hardwood floors now. We've painted. We've sunk some money in it.
Yeah,
we want to make it the place it once was.
How did you end up in Vicksburg? Because I can tell, I'm from New Orleans. I can tell you are not from Vicksburg.
Yes.
You are from New Orleans.
Yes, I do have a yacht accent.
Yes, you do.
Spelled Y-A-T.
Yeah, and people up here may not know what a yacht is, but
yes.
I know.
Yes, yes. And it's not Cajun, by the way. It's
no,
a totally different accent.
It's almost a Nightwood accent.
It is, darling. As they say, darling.
That's
yes,
right.
It is.
How did you end up in Vicksburg?
Well, originally in 2002, I'd had previous experience in the restaurant business growing up in New Orleans and going to college. Everybody, of course, has bartending jobs and waiting jobs. And once I graduated college, in the mid-90s, I went to work for the Recorder of Mortgages. I was canceling liens, judgments, and mortgages. And I got a call from my cousin Charlie Borrello in 2002. He had been at the Olive Capri for several years here in Vicksburg at Faraday's. And he decided he was going to open his own restaurant, and he asked me if I'd come up and help him open.
So how did that end up, now you're here and you own the restaurant and this is your baby now?
Well, that came about, originally I was looking in the Jackson area, downtown Jackson. And I had come here to stay, and I was commuting to Jackson, and I had heard through word of mouth that the place was, they were looking for a new tenant.
Yeah.
And me having a connection with this building, and this building having a New Orleans feel and being 140 years old, I thought it was the perfect fit to come back.
It does look like a New Orleans restaurant. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Well, yes, the exposed brick and the high ceilings and the
and the room down here, it just looks like actually something that's down the quarter.
Yes.
To me, it does.
And, you know, Mr. Sharp put a lot of money and work into the building, you know, as far as the Presbyterian altar that hangs over the mezzanine. The rafters is actually from an Episcopalian church.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's where he got the inspiration from. So there's so many architectural, you know, bits about this place that make it so unique.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about your, what is that all? Like the blender and the telephone, just get me.
Can we go get that?
Yeah, and the whole thing was, the telephone wasn't even working last night.
Well, it's a good sign. It's working now.
Bring your reservations in, and nobody can call because my phone lines are down.
Okay, so you opened Tuesday for dinner, and right now you're just open for dinner, but you are planning on being open for lunch in the very near future.
Yes, we're going to do about a week and a half, 2 weeks of just dinner only from 5 to 10, and then we're going to incorporate lunch.
Sounds great.
Being downtown and being a tourist destination, we have to be open for lunch.
Of course.
And lunch is something we want to do.
Well,
we want to give people that option.
Well, tell me a little bit about your menu.
My menu is Italian. We're going to do a little seafood, and being from New Orleans, of course, we're going to do a little Creole.
Sure.
So, and which is very common where we're from, you know, places like Liuzza's and Mendina's. So people will step in and say, well, they have a little Creole on the menu, which is very normal for us.
Yes. And the name of the place is Lillian's, and tell me how you derived it.
Well, the name of the place is named after my grandmother. Her name was Lily, but, you know, we call it Lillian's. So, but
I like that name.
Right, she came from an Italian farming family, and food was a big part of her life.
But you do know that we're all going to call it Borrello's, right?
Right. Of course, and I still get that. We're going to Borrello's. Hey.
I said it myself.
Right, Borrello's.
I was leaving my office today, and I said, I'm heading down to Borrello's. We're taping down there
Sure,
today.
and I know that. And the reason I did, people might walk in and look for Charlie, you know, so which is great.
You have the same last name, and it's the same location.
And everybody thinks we're brothers, and we're first cousins.
Sure,
so,
of course.
You know, it's very, right.
Okay, so tell me, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want people to be sure to know about Lillian's or about you? Or?
Well, I think the main thing is Vicksburg sells itself. You know, you have the military park, you have that history, you have some of the most beautiful churches of any town.
Yes.
You have great antique shops. I mean, just on this 1300 block alone, you have Willingham's, you have Art and Soul, Cinnamon Tree, Sassafras, Peterson's. You have all of these shops, and then further down you have other restaurants. So Vicksburg has a lot to offer. It not only has Lillian's to offer, but it has all these other things that are going on.
Absolutely.
You know? It's a very cultural center, and Vicksburg, downtown Vicksburg's coming up again.
It is.
There's a revitalization going on, and I wanted to be part of that. You know, they have 100 to 150 units coming online, which is really great for the city. And Vicksburg is it's advanced now. It's going in the direction of many other cities where they're revitalizing their downtown area. And me and my partner want to be a part of that. We want to be a part of that revitalization. And we're just one little peg in that revitalization down the road.
And you know what? Vicksburg's a great place to do business.
It is, and the locals support local restaurants. They support local coffee shops. On this block alone, there's 4 or 5 antique shops. There's a consignment shop, and 60 to 7% of their business is locals.
Right.
So it was something that we looked at, and we know that locals like to eat out here, and locals spend money here, and we wanted to be part of that, and we want to give them a good quality product at a reasonable price, but yet still give them the atmosphere of upscale casual dining. That's what we're looking to do.
Okay, we had to stop for a minute because you had to go let your food rep in the back door to bring the food in for tonight. And you were sitting here talking about, we're taping this, it's almost lunchtime, and you were sitting here talking about your menu, and now I'm starving, and I'm sitting here thinking about all the Lauz's and Mandina's and all those places I used to go eat in New Orleans, and I'm starving. I can't wait to eat your food.
And Tony Angelo's. Don't forget Tony Angelo's.
Gosh,
Yes.
I mean, thank you. What you got back there I can eat now? I'll eat leftovers.
Everything here is done fresh and homemade.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
So.
All right, before we wrap up, I have one quick thing I want to tell you.
Yes.
We have a mutual friend, and I discovered this yesterday when I posted on Facebook. I saw that you were having your opening, and so I went and posted, good luck, let's support this local business. And a friend of mine in Mandeville, Louisiana, who grew up in New Orleans, said y'all went to school together. I used to work with him, Dave Dupuy.
Oh, I went to high school with Dave. And actually, after high school, he was my first roommate. We were roommates together. He went to UNO. I hadn't left for college yet, but that is a name from the past. I think the Facebook community makes the world smaller and smaller and smaller.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And they have another person in Vicksburg that's friends with one of my cousins, DeCarty, who actually my grandmother Lillian was a DeCarty.
So how long has it been since you've seen Dave?
Dave, it's probably been 3 years, maybe.
Look in the camera and say, hey, Dave Dupuy.
Dave, how you doing, Dave?
Because we're going to send him this link. Okay, let's wrap up with the hours you're going to be open, because you're open now.
Right.
And you're open for dinner right now.
My hours are 5 to 10, Monday through Saturday.
Okay, so you're closed on Sundays.
Closed on Sundays, and we're going to incorporate lunch probably a week and a half, 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
We'll let people know. So if people come by in a day and they see that no one's here these next 2 weeks, it's because we're open at night.
Okay. And when you start opening for lunch, I'm sure you'll put that on Facebook.
Sure, and if people want to call, they can reach us at 601-501-4609.
Okay.
They can reach us at that number. If they want to make reservations for night, or if they want to know the menu, what wines we have, all those questions could be answered for them.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to come down here and eat.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.